Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Fiers, Femme, Shamika, whichever one you want to call me. Let me adjust my video. I know it's been a while. The last video I dropped was the month 12, my year video of TSW updates. Now it's a year and a month, I believe. Yes, and I've been getting a lot of questions in this group that I am on and a part of on Facebook. I feel like I'm going to insert it over here. And I just want to answer some questions that I've been getting on there in this video, because I feel like it could help a lot of people, and then it'll just be in one area. So give me a second. Let me go get my iPad. So this group on Facebook is called Support Group for No Moisture Treatment, TSW. And when I was in the thick of it, I was trying to find people that could relate to my story, and to not feel alone. A lot of people, if this is your first time coming across one of my videos, it's good to find people in our community. My bad, mess with my hair. But it's good to find people in our community so that you don't feel alone. You can ask questions and things like that. And I had to ask to join this group, and they approved me. And I would go in and read people's testimonies or see what they're going through versus what I'm going through and things like that. So I posted this on the channel to show them how far I've come. And it basically says 2021, I was sick randomly on and off, and I didn't know why. It started with a small eczema rash and grew into more. 2022 was one of the hardest years of my life. After realizing I had TSW, I was on a journey to healing myself from inside out. Every day was a battle mentally and physically. However, through my faith and taking it 1 second at a time, I pushed through and got better. I didn't take any supplements. For me, it was very important after going to the hospital and them sending me back with the medicine they gave me. I healed myself with natural foods, herbs, and using a red light. I think everyone's journey is different, so I always tell people to do what's best for them. One thing I can recommend, though, is that you look up Medical Medium on Instagram. He's an amazing doctor who helps a lot of different people with all kinds of ailments. I'm grateful for this group because it helped me on my journey, and especially the days when I would be so down. I'm sending love and light to anyone experiencing this at the moment. Just remember, it is just a moment in time, and you can get better. So that's basically what I posted, and this is the picture here because I'm going to plug it in. Take a picture of it. Okay. And after posting that, I got so much reactions, which was, I don't know. I didn't think a lot of people would answer, but they did. Some people asked, did I buy the red light or did I do it at a doctor's office? If you haven't seen my video about the red light, I will link it down below. I bought the red light myself. My mom actually bought it for me. I felt like it was best to invest in my own red light, and I made sure it had the right wattage and dimensions because I wanted to be able to use the red light whenever I wanted to and not have to wait for... And at that time, I couldn't go out the house. I didn't go out the house for almost a year. I was totally stuck in the house for, I know that much, I was stuck in the house for 8 months. I couldn't go outside. The sun used to hurt my body in particular. I hear some people who have TSW say that they do go outside and be in the sun a little bit, but I personally couldn't do that. I personally couldn't even take baths or showers. I would literally just wipe, clean my underarms, and clean my private areas, and that was it. Everywhere else was not getting washed. And I think about, I was 6 months in when I started to use dry brushing. When I started to peel, the dry brushing helped to get some of the dead skin off. I didn't do it as hard. I did it lightly and let help with the shedding because, sometimes we shed all throughout the day. And I felt like when I would dry brush, I would get a lot off in the morning, and it wouldn't just be falling off in clumps throughout the day. It would still fall off, but it wasn't as much as it would be if I didn't dry brush. So that was another good tip, and I have a video on dry brushing as well. So under here, I did let this person know that I bought the red light because it was more convenient. Let's see the other question. I also let people know that I did the celery juice cleanse. And you can also learn more about the celery juice cleanse from Medical Medium. His books are amazing. And again, like I said, follow him on Instagram. I will insert how I make my celery juice right here because I just made a video the other day from my TikTok. And it has a lot of benefits to drinking celery juice. I would get up in the morning and drink my celery juice first on an empty stomach. I'm doing that currently. I'm doing that right now. Um, just my birthday was the other day. I turned 39. I was so happy because it was like, this is segue, but I was so happy because it was like a drastic change from last year. And the celery juice is just me like cleansing myself again. But it does have other benefits too, like for your skin and all that. So that's the reason why I did the celery juicing. They wanted to know if I followed the protocol to a T from Medical Medium. I did not. I did it my own way. I went through how my body was feeling. Like, I only used the book to read up on stuff. But I flushed my system. I drank my celery juice, 16 ounces every day for 2 weeks. After 30 minutes, I would drink coconut water. Because, excuse me, at one point I could not eat it all. So I would do the celery juice. I would wait 30 minutes. I drink coconut water. And then an hour after, I used to make like this berry smoothie with some herbs in it. The herbs that I would use is burdock or Jamaican sarsaparilla. Those are good to put into your smoothies. The liquid that I would add into my smoothie was coconut water. Coconut water has a lot of benefits to it instead of just drinking plain filtered water or anything like that. I also did water with lemons, water with limes. Limes are a little bit more potent and healthier for you. So I drank that a lot in my water. I will also take burdock root and cut it up and put it in my water. I'm doing that currently again. Like everything that I was doing, I'm still doing. Because as you can see, I still have my marks. Oh, my hair. I still have my marks. I still have marks on my arms. I'm still healing on the inside out. And that's what a lot of people forget. Like, once you start healing and it looks as though like you're getting better on the outside, don't take that for granted. Like, you still have to work on your inside. So I'm still very much eating the way that I was when I was looking bad. You know what I mean? Your system takes a while to heal, so you want to make sure that you're doing the right protocols for it. I also let them know. So yeah, make sure you get the burdock powder, the Jamaican sarsaparilla. You can buy these things off of Amazon. You can add them into your smoothies. You could drink them in hot water. And definitely put it in your smoothie. If you don't like coconut water for your smoothie, you could put orange juice, like natural orange juice. I just stayed away from anything citrus. Citrus kind of messed with my tummy. The only thing citrusy that I was eating or drinking was the lemon, because I like to eat lemons like they're grapes. I explained to this person when I started to eat, I would make stuff like sweet potatoes, lentils, asparagus, and kale. At the time, I could not eat spinach. I could not eat what was another thing? Mangoes made me scratch. Spinach made me scratch. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. I got a phone call. But yeah. So I left off where I was talking about like certain things that I was allergic to. Well, certain things that my body was not reacting the same to, like spinach and mangoes. What else is bothering me? Black beans. Like, just because you're eating healthy doesn't mean that certain things your body cannot break down. When I was in that moment, I couldn't eat certain things, and I listened to my body. If I kept a food journal with like in my notes, I would write down what I ate when I started to eat more things. I did not eat rice. I stayed away from rice. I stayed away from pasta. I stayed away from bread. So a lot of my meals consist of me having that sweet potato. I love watermelon at the time. I love watermelon. I love kind of cantaloupe because you get more water from watermelon than you would in like a regular bottle of water. And like I said, I got the water from my fruits because I don't really drink water unless it's filtered or it's coconut water back then. Okay, and then another person asks, how soon did I see the results from the red light? I would say after using the red light for 2 months, I started feeling a lot stronger. Like I felt stronger physically, like getting the benefits from it, but actually seeing results like my skin looking smoother and stuff, it was like after 4 months. And like I said, in the first 2 months, I noticed a boost in my energy. I noticed me being able to move around. Now, somebody else did ask me if I started to use the red light when I was still pussing. Absolutely not. When I started to first use the red light, so much it was taking effect to my body, but my body wasn't used to it. So it would tingle a little bit. So I don't feel like, for me personally, I would not have used the red light if I was still pussing and crusting over. I wanted to wait until I was in that shedding phase, which is what I did. And I always say, do your own research. Don't go off of what anybody else tells you. Just like, oh, she said, so I'm going to do it. No, go do your research. Figure it out if this is something that you want to try. Don't always take people's word for it because your body is different than my body. You know what I mean? But I do use the red light on my mom. My mom uses the red light because it helps with any other thing like back pain, knee pain, any type of muscle damage, things like that. It also helps with the outside of your body, elasticity wise. And I also use it on my dog from time to time. I also told her to watch her diet, stay away from anything that has grains in it. Grains such as like wheat durum and all that stuff. That's not good for our gut health, and that's what makes it lead back to leaky gut, which then will come out on our skin. Okay. So I told her my favorite foods at the time was fresh fruits, not anything in the like high fructose corn syrup, no applesauce, no tangerines that's in that water. They put stuff in there. I'm talking about fresh fruits. Making sure you getting that daily. No sugar, just honey for sweetener if you're gonna make smoothies. Just use honey or agave. Lots of coconut water. And what you consume basically helps you heal. I feel sleepy out of nowhere. But what you consume helps your body heal. Another question is, let's see what the next question was. Were there any herbs that I use daily? But I feel like I need to make a whole separate video for herbs because I keep getting these questions about what herbs. But off the top of my head, I already told y'all too. Burdock root, powder, and the root itself, cutting it up, letting it dry, put it in your water. Jamaican sarsaparilla, that's really good. Dandelion root, that's really good. I also like drinking teas. So I do cinnamon tea in the morning with a lemon. I do cinnamon and anise. I do clove tea. I do a lot of different teas. I will insert one of my teas video right here that I put up on TikTok. Yeah, tea is very important for me. I don't drink coffee. I don't put anything in my tea. I drink it really plain. But you can always add lemon and honey to your tea, whatever tea you decide to make. I drink hibiscus tea. I drink hibiscus with cinnamon, anise, and lavender. I drink lavender and chamomile for relaxing. What else do I drink? Peppermint tea, which is good for your gut health. You have ginger tea. Ginger is good for your gut health. You can also make ginger water with lemon in it. Shake it up. Put it in a bottle. Make it cold. Drink that throughout the day. Yeah, so tea is a main thing that I have. I wouldn't say that I adopted that when I got sick, but I definitely drink a lot more tea than I used to. I don't know why I'm burping a lot, guys. Let's see, what did I have? Oh, the celery juice. I've been drinking celery juice. Okay, another thing that I do drink daily is soursop, the soursop vitamin I have. I was drinking that back then, and I'm still drinking it now, and I'm gonna buy me another bottle. Um, and I also was taking charcoal pills, because charcoal pills, what it does in your body is pull everything that doesn't belong there. Because charcoal is like a magnet, and it pulls all, I guess, anything that doesn't belong in your gut, and then it pushes it out. It's not like you can't be near a toilet or something like that, but it's something that you could take daily. So those are some of the herbs that I can remember off the top of my head, me using and implementing on my journey. Herbs again, I need to just make a video on just herbs that I actually use. And another thing, I my family comes from the Caribbean, so even though I am a vegan, I could say I'm a plant-based vegan. I eat what's best for me. I remember when I was going through the thick of it, I had a subscriber who wrote underneath my video that when her daughter was going through TSW, she ate meat and it helped her get better. And I realized, I knew that meat made me feel sick, but I wanted to take the advice, so I did my research. And then she also told me to check my blood type. Once you check your blood type, then you'll know if this can work for you. So I asked my mom what my blood type was, and then I went and read up on my blood type. And after reading up, they said that people that have my blood type, can't remember what my blood type is. Basically, people who have my blood type cannot consume meat. Like, it's not good for them. So that was just a tick off in my head, because prior to me having TSW, when I did eat meat, because I've been a vegetarian for a long time, I felt really sick, like really sick. So that's why I say do things that will help you. Yeah, sorry, I had to take another break. But definitely do what is best for you and your body. You know what I mean? Everybody's body is different. So let's see, where was I up to? Oh, I was talking about blood type. Checking your blood type, seeing what works for you. If you don't know your blood type, listen to your body. You can't always consume everything you was once consuming. I know a lot of people say, oh, it shouldn't matter what I eat. It shouldn't matter what I eat. But it really does. Healing comes from the inside out. I really truly believe, because of the way I was eating prior, and then the way I ate during it, I feel like that's why I healed the way that I did. I don't know why it happened that way, but I'm grateful, because I know that some people have longer bouts with it. And when I do have little flares, a lot of the time they come here, and on my back, especially when I have my menstrual. I sometimes see like little flares, but I don't let them bother me. I just continue I just continue to do what it is that I need to be doing, like drinking my coconut water, drinking my teas, bathing in cold water now that I can take showers, taking my showers in cool or cold water. Cold water helps you heal. What else? And I don't use regular detergents. I've said this before. I either use a Castile soap that I buy, not Dr. Bronner's, or this company called Puracy. They have a good soap that you can use for your clothing. I also wash my linen in that. It's a lot more expensive, of course, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. I don't use perfumes. I don't put any lotions from the store on my body. I actually make my own salves. I have a video on that. Yeah, on my face, I use eczema honey products. I only use the serum and the soap. I don't put Victoria's Secrets. I don't use perfume. I don't use none of that stuff. If I want to smell good, I use rose water to spray on my body. And I also use essential oils. But most of the time, if I'm not going out, like people are telling me I smell really good. I don't use stuff like that, because It's not that I have PTSD, but I just know it does not agree with my body, so I'm not gonna go ahead and do that. And if I ever do get a perfume, because I'm not over here being like, oh my god, I can't do that. Oh my god, like if I do get a perfume, which I don't think I want to do, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I don't think that there's a perfume that I want to use out there just because I know all the stuff that's in it. I think once you know about things, like for me personally, once I know about what's in something and it's not something that I have to like consume like food or something like that, I don't need those type of things to like keep my life going, you know? In my hair, I make my own rosemary oil. I make my own peppermint oil for my scalp. For my hair, I use this shampoo bar that I found and it's very vegan. And I also get my conditioner bar from there. And if I don't have that, I use the Castile soap that I buy. Um, I'll link it down below because it's not by Dr. Bronner's. But yeah, I don't put anything on my skin either. I don't use Dove. I don't use Aveeno. I don't use none of that stuff. I just use my Castile soap and I put stuff in it like for one thing that I used in my Castile soap to help with my coloring once my skin healed was turmeric. Like I'll put turmeric in there and some other stuff. People do sell turmeric bars. They do sell black soap. I use black soap. Black soap is really good. Um, what's another question? I'm basically just trying to tell you, be careful what you're putting on your skin. When you wash your clothes in Tide and different other name brands, those things stay in your clothing. I don't use fabric softener. I don't use sheets of dryer sheets. I bought me some wool balls and I put essential oil on it, and that's how I dry my clothes in the dryer. I don't use those dryer sheets. They have a lot of stuff on it. And those things stay in your clothing, which goes on what? Your skin. So then you end up taking it in anyway. You know what I mean? So I know that once I go out this house, I'm still going to have stuff attack me and do things to me. But the point is, I'm making a conscientious effort to know what I'm doing and know what I'm putting on my skin and to know the right thing and the wrong thing to do for my body to allow me to heal the right way. I can't control what's outside, but I can control the things that I do. The same thing goes for, this is a side note, if you go outside and you have a lawn or something and you see some trash on the floor, you can pick it up. You can pick it up and just be like, thank you to Mother Earth. You know what I mean? Be grateful that you have this spot to live on. And just because the world is polluting, the environment, doesn't mean that you picking up a piece of paper is not going to help. It definitely does help. So that's how I look at my body too. Like, you got to give your body what it needs to thrive. And that's what I've been doing. Okay. I just want to say, if you came from Facebook and you left me a comment, I'm not sure when I'm going to drop this video, but if you left me a comment, I just want to say thank you so much for the encouragement. And we all need to keep encouraging each other and learning more about TSW and other things and just being positive towards one another. A lot of people were just asking about the red light. There was a question about how I got rid of my hyperpigmentation. I would say that came along with the red light as well. The red light definitely helped heal my skin underneath the surface, and it continued to heal my skin above. And also me dry brushing. I just did a dry brushing today. I used to dry brush all the time before that even happened to me, because what dry brushing does is it takes off the dead skin layer on top. So whether you have TSW or not, it's a good tool. You brush and you also help the blood flow in your body to go to where it needs to go. And it helps with the circulation of your blood, right? So it helps with many, many things, as well as take the dead skin off. So between red light, dry brushing, using turmeric based soap, natural soap, and black soap, eating correctly, and making sure I get like at least 20 minutes of sun. When I first started going out, I couldn't be in the sun all the time, but I definitely was going out 20 minutes. I think it was around my 8th month I would be outside, and I think it was around September. No, August. Yeah, August I was outside for 20 minutes a day, and then I like later towards August I would notice how I was getting better. So I'll be outside for at least 40 minutes. And then September, I live in Georgia, so the weather was still nice. So I'll be outside for an hour. It even got to the point where I just was so in love with just the sun. Because remember, I was in the house for like a year. I would be out there all the time. And then I ended up getting this tan. And I feel like the sun really helped heal me. And those other things that I just name. So it wasn't one thing in particular that helped me with hyperpigmentation. I feel like it was a lot of things across the board, and me just really taking my health serious. And I'm still doing those things. So I hope that this video helped you. I hope I didn't miss anything. If there are any questions that you have, please leave it down below, because sometimes I don't really know what to talk about, but I figured since I keep getting all these questions on the Facebook post, I should just make a video of it. Another last thing I want to say is I see a lot of people on the page saying that they want to know when did you get back in the bath and things like that. Excuse me. I want to reiterate, I did not take full showers or full baths. Some people say that they feel comfortable sitting in the bath with mineral salt. I actually used that when I started going back in the bath. But I feel like I was at 3 months when it got really bad, when it was like pussing and crusting over. I couldn't do the bath. It would burn me. It felt so horrible. Like, it is the worst feeling that I could ever describe. It felt like my skin was falling off, like my body just was on fire. So I didn't take showers. I didn't take baths. I cleansed myself. They call them bird baths. I would take my soap. I would rub it under my arm, and I had these Muslim cloths, and I would clean up my underarms because nobody was seeing me. Clean up my underarms. You know, I would wipe myself however I could. You know, I know how I could, but I don't really want to say, you know what I'm saying? I just clean up my private areas, like my booty and my toot. And, okay, so like I was saying before I cut off, I didn't take any baths or showers for like 9 months. I just took bird baths, because bird baths, as in washing under private areas and stuff like that with soap and cleansing myself off that way, because I could not take the water. I know some people say they sit in mineral salt. I couldn't do that either. And I feel like it worked out for me because it was basically me, no moisture. I did not use any moisture. I will say my face was really messed up. So when I did have to eat, I would take Aquifer, and I would place it on the corners of my mouth so that I was able to open it and actually eat my sweet potato and things like that. But other than that, I didn't have no moisture on my body. And even nowadays, if I don't feel like using my calendula salve, I would not put anything on my body, and it doesn't feel weird. This is the first time in a long time that I don't need things like Eucerin and Aquifer and Avena. All those things have stuff in it. So for me, it was just like I didn't want to use anything that was going to harm me, basically. But I hope this video helps you guys. Again, if you have any questions, please leave them down below. I will get back to you. I know it seems as though I'm not doing my videos as regularly, because I'm not. I'm just taking some time out for myself to do what I need to do and enjoy life. So I am thinking on ideas of what to talk about. I'm very much a positive person. I like to inspire people. That is my mission here. I really do believe that, to like pour goodness into the world. So that's what I'm going to continue to do. But in the meantime, I have been focusing on myself and the things I want to achieve. And yeah, YouTube does not pay me So I do it whenever I feel I'm looking for the word. Whenever I feel a push to do it and I feel like I need to make when I make a video. Because making money on here is it's not the top thing, I would say, on my list. Sorry, I'm like seeing a bee by the window. It's not a priority. You know what I mean? It's just not. So, yeah, you guys have a beautiful day, have a beautiful night, have a beautiful evening wherever you are. I'm going to go take a nap. I'm not sure why I feel so tired all of a sudden. Oh, I think it's because I've been in the sun. And it's like 80 something degrees today. So I went outside this morning in the morning, grounded myself, meditated and stuff. And then I went again this afternoon. So I'm tired. So I'm going to go take a nap. Later.